Hello, my beautiful, amazing, dope-ass souls. Welcome to my channel. I'm Tina Marie J. Welcome, welcome, welcome. I hope you guys are doing good. I hope you guys are safe. I hope your family is safe. The world is crazy. A lot of times I walk around, I just look around and I'm just like, I don't understand. Like, maybe I'm an alien or something, because I'm starting to feel like I just do not fit in here. This place is just crazy. But I hope you guys are doing well. Yesterday was my mom's birthday, the 27th. So help me give her a happy birthday shout out. She turned 35 for the 100th year in a row somehow. She seems to not age from that age. But yeah, she turned 35 yesterday. She's doing pretty good. She's doing well. She's actually preparing for her post-op. She has some post-op appointments she's doing today. So I have to actually text her after this and see. She's going to call me when she gets home, but I like to text her and, let her know I'm thinking of her so she can remain calm. I know she gets very anxious and nervous. But she has been doing better. Her tumors have been shrinking. The doctors said that she's been actually doing a lot better than what they were expecting. It's been like a miracle. And she is getting ready to go in for surgery next month. She has uterine cancer. So she's nervous about that, but I tell her, I'm like, you're going to do great and you're going to go into remission. And I speak nothing but positivity for my mom. In the beginning, she was diagnosed, by the way, in just this past June. But in the beginning, it was very hard for me to be strong because, oh my God, that was like the worst fucking time in my life. I was going through so much and it was so hard. And I was just like, I need to find a way to get out of this depression because I need to be strong for my mom. I need to be strong for my mom. I need to be strong for my kids. My mom had just lost her mom, my grandmother, and I just was such a mess. And then, there were things in my relationship where my husband was battling, and I was just like, I need to be strong for him. Like, I literally at times just feel like I need to just be this pillar of strength for everybody. But then sometimes I tend to forget to be strong for myself. And I guess I'm kind of learning that now and learning to think about myself more too, and to remember to be strong for myself. And me resigning from my job has actually helped me to kind of become more grounded and to get to this place where I can begin to feel a lot more better at my mental health and feel like I have more time and I'm learning so much more. And I don't know, it's a lot. Like, I'm learning a lot, but I'm very grateful. But all right, so let's get into this video. That's enough about me. It's just a little update. Had to shout out Mama Dukes. So today I wanted to talk about cult indoctrination. I noticed that a lot of people who, just like myself, when I left my cult, who leave cults don't really realize the effect that a cult can have and don't really know much about a cult or like what a cult really is, what a cult really looks like. And I just wanted to talk about that and talk about I have an article actually that I'm going to go through, and it is going to explain to you exactly the steps and the techniques that are used to indoctrinate you so that you know this is what a cult looks like. A cult does not look like a bunch of Amish looking people walking around kissing trees and singing kumbaya songs or whatever weirdness you think of. But maybe I'm the only one who thinks of that every time I think of cults. But that's not what a cult is. A cult can come in all forms. And the thing is that when it comes to religious cults, as a lot of you may be here for, religious cults are they have a little advantage over other cults, in my opinion, because they're able to use the Holy Bible. They're able to use the Holy Bible as a way to deceive and a way to kind of, what do you call it? Disguise who they really are. They hide behind this Bible. Whereas some other cults may create their own book or their own Bible or whatever. But like Jehovah Witnesses, for example, they can use the Bible to hide behind and to really disguise their true intentions and who they really are. And yes, Jehovah Witnesses are definitely a cult. Go ahead, come for me, come for me. Jehovah Witnesses are a cult. I've done extensive research on them. I'm actually quite disgusted. And if you are a Jehovah Witness, please don't take this personal. I apologize. I'm just probably being a little too honest, but I am disgusted by Jehovah Witnesses because Jehovah, and I'm not putting all of them in a box because I don't know, maybe there are some Jehovah Witnesses that don't follow that, you know. There may be some that low key are like, you know, yeah, I'm a Jehovah Witness and I'm in this kingdom church, but for real, I don't really follow all this stuff. Like, to me, this is crazy. But those who really do, there are Jehovah Witnesses who completely cut off their family and their children, and you get no respect from me because as a mom, I could never let anybody, I don't care if Jesus Christ himself came here and was like, Tina, you need to cut your children off forever or kill them off or what. Nope, not happening. Go ahead, give me my first class ticket straight to hell. I can't do it as a human. I can't do it, and I don't believe that there is a God who would even ask of that. So that is why I do not have much respect for those type of Jehovah Witnesses. I am not trying to insult, but at the same time, I am going to make sure I'm being honest. So let's just get into this. So this article that I had read is called How Cults Work, and I found it on a website called howstuffworks.com. I'm going to make sure I post the link down below for you guys, so go ahead and read on your own free time. But it was written by Julia Layton, and I'm not going to read every single thing in here, but I'm going to read pretty much most of it because, yeah, I'm pretty much going to read most of it because it has a lot of important points in it, but we're going to get through this. All right, so this is just a little introduction. I'm only going to read like the small portion of the intro because I feel like this is important to hear. So cult indoctrination. A destructive cult uses countless techniques to get its members to stay, commit themselves, and take part in what may be harmful activities. The sum of these techniques constitutes what some people call mind control. It's also known as thought reform, brainwashing, and coercive persuasion, and it involves the systematic breakdown of a person's sense of self. So remember that, a breakdown of a person's sense of self, the thought reform, this is what you go through, and this is exactly why when you leave, you feel like you're lost, you feel like you don't know who you are anymore. This is exactly what it is. All right, so now it talks about thought reform. Thought reform is an umbrella term for any number of manipulative techniques used to get people to do something they wouldn't otherwise do. The concept of thought reform itself is a controversial one. Some say it's mere propaganda designed to scare people away from new religions and political movements. But most psychologists believe that cult brainwashing techniques, which are similar to techniques used in prisoner interrogation, oh my God, do change a person's thought processes. So when I first read that part really tripped me up because I was like, that's crazy. Psychologists basically say that the techniques that they use in cults are very similar to the techniques they use on prisoners during interrogations. Those interrogations are really tough. I mean, I've watched those on A&E or whatever, and you know, those crime and all that stuff, like how they do interrogations when it comes to the authorities. They don't play any games. Like when they want to find the answers, they will find the answers. They will manipulate anything. They will repeat the same thing and just change it up in a different way and try to say, you know, try to put words in your mouth as if you said something just to make you say something else, which is what they want, like bait you. And this is what a lot of cults do. And I did deal with this. I did definitely deal with this when I was in my cult. I felt interrogated many times. We actually call them breakdown sessions, and breakdown sessions, oh, it's 1111. Breakdown sessions is angel number, guys. Breakdown sessions is basically when they try to break down your character. They try to break you down emotionally. A lot of times it works. It's a way, I feel like they use it a lot more so in the church that I was in, the ICOC, out of like to put fear in you. Put fear in you so you'll listen to them, so you'll fall in line in case you feel like you're falling off, or in case you're thinking about leaving. And so that's why I feel like these interrogations feel a lot like those breakdown sessions. So if any of you've ever experienced breakdown sessions in any cult or like any religious cult, then you know what I'm talking about. So it says in cult recruiting and indoctrination. So listen to this. If you're new to any cult, or if you are an ICOC campus ministry member and you're new, or you just was invited to Bible studies, you need to be listening to this. In cult recruiting and indoctrination, these techniques include. So now we're going to read all the techniques that they use. All right. And we're going to go through all the techniques. And you need to really pay attention, because these are the exact techniques that I've seen, that I've experienced, and that many other people have as well. And listen, if you decide to join the group that you're looking into, that's on you. You know, I'm not going to judge you for it. I'm not here to tell you what to do. I'm just putting out the information so no one could say, okay, that information wasn't there. No, like, that information was there, but you chose to do what you did, and that was your right. And no one can judge you, including me, and I won't. All right. So let's start. I'm going to first tell you what the different techniques are. We'll go into them. So the first one's deception, isolation, induced dependency, and dread. Now, there's a lot more that goes into this, and that's more like other websites that I can actually do videos on, where it gets a little more deeper into the stuff, because it gets very interesting. But I just wanted something a little more short and concise so I could really get into this video. So deception. Cults trick new recruits into joining the group and committing themselves to a cause or lifestyle they don't fully understand. Cults mislead new recruits and members as to the true expectations. Cults mislead new recruits and members as to the true expectations and activities of the group. Just like when I was invited to a Bible study and had no idea that the Bible study was actually intended for me to do studies so I could join the group and become baptized. That's misleading. Cults may hide any signs of illegal, immoral, or hyper-controlling practices until the recruit has fully immersed himself in the group. So I can remember when, after I was baptized, it took a couple of short months of me settling in and getting real comfortable with the people and with the church before I started to really realize, like, these people were really controlling. And that was when it started to get more controlling, is once they felt like they had me, once they felt like, okay, she's comfortable now, we have her in the grasp, boom, now we could control her, now we could do this, now we could do that. And that is what they do. So they hide all that. You don't know how they are. At first they do all that love bombing, that's what it is. And then they start with the control, and some of them are illegal, some are immoral. For me and my church, it was mainly about a lot of control. And in my personal opinion, I have witnessed some stuff that to me was immoral, which is why I left. But yeah, so if you've dealt with this, you know what it is. A cult leader may use members' altered consciousness induced by activities like meditation, chanting, or drug use to increase vulnerability to suggestion. So this is something I've actually been learning about, which I find extremely interesting, is that in a lot of cults, like chanting, and I know they do this in churches in general, but that's actually like almost like a form of hypnosis. And I've been learning about it, and I actually want to learn more about it before I really start talking a lot more into it. But this is what cults do. And they use meditation. And in my church, the meditation was like the form of prayer. A lot of times it would be group prayer and meditation, and that was like the form of meditation. And I would get called out because I didn't want to pray, or because I didn't really have anything to say, or because my eyes weren't fully closed, or I seemed distracted. I would get called out for stuff. And I feel like it's because if you're in it, it feels like you're in this one group, because remember, it's all about group think. So if you're all praying together, holding hands, and you're completely into it, completely a full participant, then that lets them know, okay, we have this person. Like, we can actually manipulate how they think, how they've grown up thinking, what they were taught to believe. We can actually manipulate all of that. We continue to pray with them, talk to them, hang out with them. And they use all these different ways to kind of get into your head. And I feel like that's what this is talking about, where they use members' altered consciousness. That's definitely something I want to learn more about. So the next one is isolation. Cults cut off members from the outside world and even each other to produce intense introspection, confusion, loss of perspective, and a distorted sense of reality. The members of the cult become the person's only social contact and feedback mechanism. This is what they do. This is what the hell they do. A lot of people who have family members or loved ones that are in a cult right now will say, oh, I haven't spoken to so-and-so, and so-and-so seems to be so busy with the people in their group. They don't come by. They didn't come by for Thanksgiving or Christmas. It's always the isolation. I used to go to my family live in upstate New York, but they're like an hour and 45 minutes from me, from the city. And I used to go visit my family upstate like 2 to 3 times a month. When I had joined the ICOC, I wasn't doing that so much anymore. I was rarely going, or I would go and stay for like a Saturday and come back home that night. I was always rushing because I had to make sure that I made it to church on Sundays, and they didn't want me over there on the weekends because I had to make sure I made it to church. So my church I was in, the ICOC, didn't necessarily say you cannot be near your family at all, but they find other ways to isolate you. They will get into your head and tell you things like, well, your family may not make it to heaven, and we're your family, we're your spiritual family, and at the end of the day, we're going to be the ones in heaven together. Kind of like trying to find their way to push your real people in your life out of your life and replace them with themselves. All right, so cults may keep new recruits from talking to other new recruits. They may only be allowed to speak with long committed members for a period of time. Cults may not allow unsupervised contact with the outside world. In this way, there is no chance for a reality check or validation of a new member's concerns regarding the group. Yes, they cannot have any outside influences, guys. If you are in a cult and your cult is not gonna allow you to have any outside influences. So if you join the ICOC or the ICC and you have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, you guys aren't married, and they refuse to join, goodbye. Time for them to go, because that's exactly what's going to happen. They're not going to allow it because you cannot have any outside quote unquote worldly influences. Cults typically instill the belief that outsiders, non-cult members, are dangerous and wrong, and this is exactly why. So the next one is induced dependency. Cults demand absolute, unquestioning devotion, loyalty, and submission. A cult member's sense of self is systematically destroyed. No more sense of self. That's it. You don't know who the hell you are anymore. Ultimately, feelings of worthlessness and evil become associated with independence and critical thinking. Guys, please listen to that part. Please put your giant ears on, your Dumbo ears on, and listen to that part, okay? Independence and critical thinking, they associate feelings of worthlessness and evil. It becomes associated with independence and critical thinking. And feelings of warmth and love become associated with unquestioning submission. Associated with unquestioning submission. When you leave a cult, you are not going to be independent. It's going to take you some time to get to that place where you're comfortable trusting yourself, where you're comfortable being independent. It's going to take you a little time. Why? Because this cult has taught you that you needed to depend on them. You need to depend on them. And if you're independent, if you're depending on yourself, if you're using critical thinking skills, which we were given, because in my opinion, if we're not supposed to use critical thinking skills, then why do we have them to begin with? Why? Why it's in our nature? Why must we constantly fight what's within our nature? Why do we have critical thinking skills? So we have to be dependent and use groupthink instead. Otherwise, it's associated with evil. It's associated with unholiness. It's associated with rebellion, independence, and critical thinking. Feelings of warmth and love become associated with unquestioning submission. All right. So now it talks a lot more about it. So I just want to go through these little bullet points. All right. The leader typically controls every minute of a member's walking time. There is no free time to think or analyze. There is no free time to think or analyze. Members are told what to eat, what to wear, how to feed their children, when to sleep, when to have sex. I threw that one in because I remember I was told I need to get my husband sex every day. I was like, what? What? I actually had a woman tell me, because I said, well, what if I'm on my menstrual? She's like, well, the shower. Oh my God, this woman is. I said, listen, you go ahead and please your husband. My husband could be mad all he wants, because that's not happening. I'm every single day, not like, come on, not my husband don't I don't even think he wants it every single day. But this is what they do. They tell you what to do. The member is removed from all decision making. The member is removed from all decision making. You're not allowed to make a decision. You can't decide what you're gonna do, what you're gonna wear, where you're gonna go, who you're gonna hang out with, who you're gonna date, who you're gonna marry. That's not up to you no more. That's up to your group now. Any special talents the member has are immediately devalued and criticized in order to confuse the member's sense of self-worth. This is why when you leave a cult, you're no longer interested in the hobbies you was once interested in. You're no longer doing the things you used to love to do. You're no longer hanging and chilling with the people that you used to chill with, the people that really was for you, the people that really cared about you. This is the reason why. This is you feel it's all devalued. You feel worthless at this point. You feel like, like I don't know who I am anymore. Any doubts, assertiveness, or remaining ties to the outside remaining ties to I gotta zoom in on this, my vision. Remaining ties to the outside worlds are punished by the group through criticism, guilt, and alienation. Questions and doubts are systematically turned around so that the doubter feels wrong, worthless, evil for questioning. The member is loved again when he renounces those doubts and submits to the will of the leader. There's more, so I'm just going to read through them all. The member may be deprived of adequate sustenance and or sleep, so the mind becomes muddled. The leader may randomly alternate praise and love with scorn and punishment to keep the member off balance and confused and instill immense self-doubt, which is why you don't trust yourself when you leave. The leader may offer occasional gifts and special privileges to encourage continued submission. That's happened to me. I've been given gifts and stuff like that. The member may be pressured to publicly confess sins, yes, after which he is viciously ridiculed by the group for being evil and unworthy. He is loved again when he acknowledges that his devotion to the cult is the only thing that will bring him salvation. Oh my God, tell me this is not what my church was like. This was actually the situation that made me leave. There were two situations like this where people were forced to publicly confess their sins. And then they were ridiculed. No one wanted to sit with them. They were treated like crap. And me, I don't stand for that. I don't care who you are, what background you come from, what color you are. You're a person at the end of the day, and I don't like that. And so I didn't like it. And I did address that. And that was actually what made me leave. These people ended up being ridiculed, and they felt completely unworthy. And that broke my heart so much. I ended up becoming close friends with some of them, the people in the situation. It was two separate situations, but yes, this is 100% true. Oh my goodness. And then in order for you to be accepted, you need to be completely devoted, give your entire life to them. All right. So, let me see. Let's go through these a little bit now. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. All right. So questions and doubts are systematically turned around so that the doubter feels wrong, worthless, evil for questioning. You're not allowed to question a lot of the times. Sometimes there may be members who may say it's okay for you to question, but then after you question, they may criticize you for it or may bash you for it in some way and then try and say that it's all out of love, that because I love you. And this is what they'll say. And you do there is a lot of confusion that goes into being a cult, a lot of confusion. I dealt with a ton of confusion when I was in the ICOC because I didn't know who I was. I didn't have any self-worth. I felt like I wasn't worth much if I wasn't in that church, if I didn't have God, because I thought in order for me to have God, I had to be in that church. And I don't know, I can't really tell you how I believed that shit. Like, that was crazy, but I did. I really did. All right, so the last one is dread. Once complete dependence is established, the member must retain the leader's good favor or else his life falls apart. The leader may punish doubt or insubordination with physical or emotional trauma. Once all ties to the outside world have been cut, the member feels like his only family is a group and he has nowhere else to go. Access to necessities depends on the leader's favor. The member must behave or may not get food, water, social interaction, or protection from the outside world. Oh, that's intense. The member may believe that only group members are saved. Yes. So if he leaves, he will face eternal damnation. Absolutely. Absolutely. That's exactly how it is. That's exactly how it is. That's exactly a lot of the reasons for a lot of people why they stay in the cult that they're in, is because they're afraid that they leave, they're gonna be persecuted. Like, if they leave, they're going to go straight to whatever hell that they believe in. And I believed the same thing, and I still was like, I gotta take the chance because there has to be something better than this. Somehow deep down inside, I knew that there was something more, but it's like I knew, but I didn't know, and that's why I was able to leave. But this is definitely something that a lot of people do go through. Feeling like they're the only family you have, feeling like this is it for me, I have nothing else. You kind of feel like you have nowhere else to go. And I mean, I didn't feel like that because I have family. You know, I didn't feel like that. But I did feel like I don't have any other friends, which I didn't. I didn't have any other friends on the outside of my cult. My only friends were within, because after a while people didn't really want to be friends with me because I was like a Jesus freak. I was like a cultish type of Jesus freak. You know, like I was one of those. So I don't blame them now when I think back on it. But yes, a lot of people do feel like this is the only family they have, because some people go into these cults and they don't have family. This is why these cults are able to manipulate people, and they're able to target people so easily, because what they do is that they pick certain people that they know they can manipulate. So if they know that you don't really have family, if they know that you've just gone through a divorce, if they know that you're a young single teen mom and you live in a shelter, they're gonna sweep you off your feet, because you're exactly what they're looking for. You know what I'm saying? You're exactly what they want. So yeah, that's definitely something that I have dealt with. And guys, listen, if you like this video, real quick, I'm just interjecting, just cut myself off real quick, then please do press the like button, share this video if you know anyone who this may help, and don't be shy, go ahead, hit that subscribe button, make sure that you set the bell notification for all, so that you can get all notifications for anytime I put out a video. All right. And also, I have my ICOC Cult Fridays every Friday at 6 p.m. Eastern. So make sure you're on here at 6 p.m. Eastern. I will have my Cult ICOC Fridays, where I'll have topics dedicated completely to the ICOC and ICC cult. So I've gotten a lot of different video requests. So if you guys have any more, please do continue to send me video requests specifically on this cult. All right, so back into this video. So I'm just going to read this last little part. It says, indoctrination or thought reform is a long process that never really ends. Members are continually subjected to these techniques. It's part of daily life in a cult. Some adjust well to it after a period of time, embracing their new role as a group member, quote unquote, it says group member, and casting aside their old sense of independence. For others, it's a perpetually stressful existence. In the next section, we'll take a look at what it's like to live within the confines, and we could probably I'll probably look through. I didn't even know that there was more parts to this, but I'll probably look through and see if there's anything else in here that would be interesting for another video topic, because these are pretty interesting, but I haven't looked through it. I have to look through it. So yeah, so that's pretty much it. I just felt like that was something that I really wanted to put up there for you. I wanted to make a video on. I wanted to address, because I personally feel like it's important that you, especially if you're somebody who's recently left a cult, I think it's very important that you educate yourself as to what a cult is, how it works. And when I had left my cult, I didn't know anything. All I knew was that it was something off, something wrong, and I felt it, and it was about time I needed to listen to myself for once. And that's what I did. And I don't regret it to this day. I'm so happy and so free from it. I am very happy that I listened to my instincts and I left. I felt fear. I felt scared as hell, but I left. I knew that I was risking everything. I was risking it all. At the time, I felt like I was risking my marriage. My husband could have simply been like, screw this, I'm out. Because he was in it with me. I was, I lost all of the so-called friends, which is cool. To me, that was a gain. Shoot, I don't need you in my life if you're not legit. Like, why? You know what I'm saying? Like, to me, that was a gain. But at first, when it was happening, it felt like a loss. So I do understand how it feels for many of you. I completely do get it. I understand. It's a difficult situation to be in, and it's not easy. And this is why I do offer one-on-one intuitive coaching calls for those who have left a cult. I also do coaching calls for people who've left religion, because I have also left Christianity, and that was a whole nother process to go through. So I do that as well. But if you have not yet, make sure that you have your first call with me free, your free consultation. So I have that in the link in the description below. Basically, our free consultation is 30 minutes. You have the floor. I want to hear exactly what your experience is. I want to know what you're going through. What is it that you want to see change? What is it that you want to do differently in your life? If you need help getting on your journey, starting your journey towards healing, then I'm that person. So that's basically what I'm here for. Now, listen, the difference, and I want to explain this because I think it's important people understand this too. The difference between a coach like myself, like someone who's just doing these calls and helping people and like developing little programs for people, the difference between coaches who do that and like an actual therapist is that I personally suggest that a lot of people who've left cults do seek therapy. I do. And I didn't. And I found other ways to get through, and you don't have to. You can find other ways. But I noticed that there are many people who are in therapy who speak to me, and their whole thing is, yeah, my therapist is like cool and all, but they don't really know my experience because they've never experienced it. And you have to have been in a cult to know what the hell it really feels like. Like, you have to have experienced the effects, the fear, the doom of being in a cult, the isolation of being in a cult, to know exactly how it is. And that is where a coach will come in. So yes, that information is down below for you guys. All right. Also, listen, because I'm always forgetting to add this. My Beautiful Souls Facebook group is for all ex-cult members. I specifically created it for ex-cult members, not necessarily for ex-Christians, because at the time when I created it, I was more so like in between. I didn't really know what I was. So I just created it for ex-cult members or people who are in my cult. But I am planning to I'm working on creating another group specifically for people who've left religion. So I will have that as something separate. So if you've just left religion, just hold off for a minute, because I kind of want to like keep these groups separate. All right. So yes, but if you've left a cult, then make sure you join my Beautiful Souls Facebook group. There's no judgment there. It's a group where you're able to really get out how you feel, or you could just sit back and chill and not talk at all and just like see what other people's experiences are. I mean, I feel like if you have a group of people who can come together and can just like talk about their experiences and heal together, that just makes your healing process so much more better. Trust me, it really does. So that's there for you. And guys, please leave a comment. Tell me your thoughts. I would love to hear your experiences. Let me know what you think. Let me know, have you gone through these things? Does any of this sound familiar? Let me know. Also, if you have any requests that you would like, any topics you'd like me to talk about, then let me know down in the comments, or you can also send me a DM on Instagram, which I have here, Tina Marie _J. That's my Instagram. So you can send me a DM. Make sure you're following me there. All right. And I definitely appreciate you guys. Make sure you subscribe, like, and share. Enjoy the rest of your day. Stay safe. I love you all so much. I'll talk to you soon.